Welcome into the broadcaster booth. David Roy signing on here. Welcome in here on the Vibe Live Network. Your home for the Maroons and Austin High Maroon baseball. We'll get you set up, get you squared away here for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Here on an afternoon of baseball action, where the Maroons, Game 1, they didn't win. They didn't lose either, and therein lies the kicker. And really and truly, it's impressive. Under normal circumstances, would have forced extra innings, and unfortunately, in this circumstance, not quite the case. They only come away instead with a tie, and that's how things end for the Maroons. In Game 1 this afternoon, tying it up. They started up 1-0 over Laredo United, and then they led for the majority of that game. Sixth inning, top of the sixth, Laredo United finally got their bats cooking a little bit there and able to come up with a significant 3-run half inning. Then you go into the top of the seventh, they add on 2 more, and then Austin High, bottom of the seventh, able to add on 4 runs of their own. Pretty significant and pretty impressive, too. Jason Martinez got the start in that one. We'll see who gets the start here this afternoon for Game 2 as we turn the afternoon to evening here. We have the Hutto lineup. We have not yet received the Austin High lineup. We've just been handed the Austin High lineup, so we will get through that here in just a moment. I am having to read handwriting here. This is not easy. Not for Coach A. This is for the Hutto lineup. I mean, this is a little tricky, but we will make it work. So that's that lineup there. We'll get the Maroon lineup here set up for you folks at home. As Maroons will start, they are the home team here again. They're warming up on the mound first. So Hutto will take the stage first, and we are starting the way we ended the inning or the first game. Bradley Rodriguez will get the start on the mound. Osby Contreras will continue as the battery mate here for the Maroons. Work our way around. Bramble will remain at first. Ames Alejandro remains at second. Zachary Huff will remain in at third. Patrick Bird remains at the shortstop spot. Your outfield right now, we'll see if there's any more changes. Dice will remain out and left field. Jason Martinez will move back into center field. And Mardiak will replace Luke Whalen over in right field. See those up on the screen here for you in just a moment. Pull those up here for you real quick. see those there on your screen. We'll get the actual offensive lineups here set up in just a little bit. But first, we'll get you started here this afternoon. Fields will get the start at the plate here for the Hippos of Hutto. As we get you started here, top of the first inning. We'll talk about the Maroons' offensive starting lineup here in just a bit, but first, Fields will lay down a bunt, and he's got some speed to get on base. Just a quick bunt for Fields, puts him on a bag. Bring up Zayas, and another bunt. A couple bunts here early, and the throw over. Ames Alejandro dove and cannot get on, and now runners at the corners. It was close, but the throw pulled Alejandro off the bag. That'll bring up Esparza for the Hippos. A lot of speed by this Hutto team. Lean off with a couple of bunts. And they're able to just outrun the throw so far pretty successfully. This pitch here down and away. So 2-1 count here, for Bradley Rodriguez. And I think Austin High kind of thrown for a loop here early on. Wasn't prepared. They weren't expecting the approach for Hutto to be just come out, lay down a couple bunts, and show off the speed. And certainly it works. I mean, and if you've got that kind of speed in your outfield, if you've got that kind of speed on your roster, I mean, why not? Bases by any means necessary. And sometimes that means just get them on a bag in this case, as the swing here. And Esparza able to put this in play, and he'll slide in, and just like that, Hutto jumps out to a quick 2-0 lead here, top of the first. That'll bring up Medina for Hutto. Meyer, the catcher, on deck. Austin High still looking to record an out here for the first time in this second game of their doubleheader. After starting out, falling behind 2-0 in the count, Rodriguez able to work his way back. It's a 2-1 count here. This one way back there and bounced, and Martiak able to keep it in play. And that'll be a triple, an RBI triple. And just like that, 3-0 lead here already for Hutto. Rodriguez pitch here, trying to shake this off. This has been a wild start. He's trying to shake things off here, trying to find himself. Comes back, rips this one outside, finds the outside corner of the zone, strike one. This is Meyer up here at the plate. And this one fits in here for a base hit. And Hutto jumps out to a 4-0 lead. Still here in the top of the first, a base hit. Building upon base hit here. So you have a runner on, 0-1 count here, pitch on the way, down and away, ball one, excuse me. Pull up here for you, just give you a quick look. This Hippo's starting lineup on the offensive side of the field. And of course right now, Bjerke currently standing in this 1-1 count. I think it's Bjerke. I'm having a hard time telling because of the way it's one of those kinds of papers. You have the two, one on top of the other, and it kind of bleeds through as if it was your checkbook. We're just not entirely sure the way it transmitted through the paper, or bled through, however you want to phrase it. Either way, a couple of base hits, and already up 4-0, nobody out, 2 on. It leads to Coach A having a meeting out here at the mound already with Bradley Rodriguez. So you have this Hippos lineup that we have already almost worked. We've worked through 2/3 of this lineup already. And we still have a third of the way to go, and we've gotten through that all here in just the top half of the inning. What a start. So Rodriguez comes back here. Ball one, this one chopped over down the line to short to Bird. Bird, the play at the plate. Contreras with the tag. They called him safe. I'm pretty sure Contreras had the tag. But the run, I guess, will stand now. They do pick up an out. Does have a runner at second. But it is now 5-0 Hutto. Fortunately, the Maroons do record their first out. And this will go down as a base hit. So that puts runners at the corners already very early here. Austin High find themselves on the back foot. And, Bradley Rodriguez, who I thought was pretty good. I mean, down the stretch, coming in relief of Martinez, gets you out of a jam. Yeah, there's a couple runs that get given up there in the top of the 7th, but he gets you out of there and keeps it within reach for your batting lineup to then come through. Him being a part of it to get you on bases, get some base runners going, and then you circle it around and you're able to tie it up. You come out of game one with a tie. Not quite having that same success here. As this gets ripped, Bird trying to do it himself. The throw misses. from Bird to Bramble. And just like that, we're back through to the top of the lineup. .6-0 lead here for Hutto. I was putting it on the wrong side there. 6-0 lead here for Hutto. This one chopped foul. And Rodriguez just needs to take a breath, settle down here, fits this one. And he just misses off the outside part of the plate. Does have 2 away. The 2-1 chopped, missed. 2-2 the count. And Rodriguez comes back. Fires this one over to second. Throw here, Contreras over to third. Huff bobbled it. And I'll say it's safe on the steal. So a 3-2 count here. Big opportunity for Rodriguez to try and get you out of the inning and mitigate the damage. Fields fouls this off. So we remain with a 3-2. This pitch fouled away into the netting. And so we still sit with a 3-2. Rodriguez able to get you out of the danger here. Close out the inning with a strikeout, and that'll bring us into the top of the first. But the Maroons quickly finding themselves on the back foot. They're down 6-0 heading into the bottom of the first. We'll see if their batting lineup can answer when we come back here on the Vibe Live Network.
Nance Orthodontics is committed to providing the highest quality orthodontics for the Austin community. Dr. Nance is a board-certified orthodontist and offers Invisalign and braces to create beautiful smiles. Our friendly team is passionate about creating beautiful, life-changing smiles for all ages with the latest technological advances. Patient comfort and happiness are our highest priority. Give us a call for your complimentary consultation today.
Almost every day, banking touches some aspect of your life, from growing your business, saving for retirement, or planning for future generations of your family. That's why it's so important to pick the right financial partner. The good folks at Plains Capital Bank have deep roots in Austin, serving Central Texas owned and operated businesses for over 20 years, from commercial real estate to managing your wealth. You can find them at plainscapital.com or call them at 457-7500. And when you talk to them, be sure to tell you that my friend Paul said hello, member FDIC.
Welcome back in. Here on the Vibe Live Network, David Roy here in the broadcast booth. Let's get your lineup set here for the Maroons. Leading off, not a lot of changes here for Austin High as we bring you back in here from Game 1 coming into Game 2. Still very much Jason Martinez to get it started. Martinez trying to come out. He'll try and lay down a bunt. It's going to go as a ball. They come out outside of the zone here. Three-0 count right now here for Martinez. Now, Martinez, Dice, Bird, Bramble, that's all pretty much the same. Bodie Martiak's still the same. Bradley Rodriguez comes in, though. He'll take Luke Whalen's place in the lineup. And then Osby Contreras, Ames Alejandro, Zach Huff. They all round out and complete the Maroons' offensive lineup here. As Martinez pitch, shortstop had to bounce back forward. Martinez, they thought he'd beat the throw, turn around, and a close call here. And they will say he does not beat the throw over to first, so that is one away. That brings up Charlie Dice. I thought very clearly Martinez had beaten the throw, but I'm not the umpire, so Dice has hit down the line there. Austin High kind of all of a sudden not really getting much in the way of the calls. I mean, that one was close. Hard to tell from our angle, but certainly seemed like it was a little bit more to the being fair than foul. Either way, it comes out to an 0-1 count, one away here for the Maroons. Bottom of the first after giving up 6 to open up. And Dice able to make contact this one out there. He will beat the throw this time. And a burst of speed from one away, but a runner on for the Maroons. Brings up Patrick Bird. And a 1-0 count here for Bird. This one outside corner of the plate. Oh, give him a strike there. 1-1 count. See, and for me, for my take, I mean, that looked like a ball from my angle, but once again, as I tell you, I'm not the one wearing the gear. I'm not the one in blue sitting out there. That not my call. But from my angle, that looked a bit too far outside. 1-1 to count either way, though. Throwback to first to keep Dice honest. His pitch down away goes for ball 2 here. So good spot for Bird. That gets him up ahead in the count. See what he can contend with here on the 2-1. This one chopped right back down the line to second. They'll flip it over to the bag, throw to first in time. A double play here from Hutto. And that quickly takes us to the end of the first. I'll pull up the numbers here for you on the way it went. I mean, they went around the bases. Hutto did early, and Bradley Rodriguez, after a really nice finish to game 1, sluggish start, unfortunately, for him coming into game 2. And Hutto just very quickly, they showed off the speed. It's kind of how they got things going. I think it just kind of got into Rodriguez's head. I mean, because again, these are teenagers, and sometimes, you know, it wears on you maybe a little more than you should, you know, in some facets. And unfortunately for Asa High, it just, Hutto and really quickly just jumped out to that 6-0 lead. We'll see now. Rodriguez had a chance to kind of sit back a little bit. Didn't have to worry about getting into the batting order or anything like that. Him and Contreras were able to kind of sit on the sides here. And just kind of have a conversation here, just kind of sit back in the dugout, not have to worry about it too much, just kind of sit, relax, talk things out, take a deep breath, catch yourself here, get you set up, and we'll see now what inning 2 of Bradley Rodriguez looks like here against this Hutto squad. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the Maroons go back to work here on the Vibe Live Network.
Huh. Guess I'll call radio.
Hey, come back here.
I got this.
I just didn't feel appreciated. I was leaking for days and they never helped.
Here, this will help.
Your toilet shouldn't run. But if it does, call Radiant.
Welcome back in. Zayas Ronaldo comes in here and fouls this one off. Just before we came out of the break, had a ball thrown his way from Rodriguez. So Bradley Rodriguez seems like starting to kind of settle in here as we bring you back in. Top of the second inning. It's a 1-1 count here. It's 6-0 lead. And a quick little time call. Contreras and Rodriguez just kind of talking things over, kind of settling in here. And sometimes it's all it is. Sometimes you're just not in sync. And sometimes it creates, and especially after the way this game started, I mean, a couple of quick bunts, quick base running, a lot of speed that was on display out there, and sometimes it just bleeds itself that sometimes you just kind of fall out of sync between, pitcher and catcher as your battery mates, and it sets up that now you kind of have to work your way back into being on the same page. And so Rodriguez now trying to do that. And off to a pretty good start. Gets his fouled off. I mean, this is a good... After the way that first inning started and the way that first inning kind of ran on with Hutto being able to go through their entire lineup, this is a pretty good response here from Rodriguez as this one gets grounded out, skips its way over to Jimmy Bramble over at first. He'll do it himself. That puts one away here for the Maroon infield. I'll bring Esparza up. And this pitch way too far outside. Contreras had to dive for that one. Able to pull that one in. Here's a 1-0. Comes outside. 2-0 count. Not sure if Rodriguez kind of slipped there, or he slipped trying to regain his footing coming back off it. You're on turf. It's been a little wet. There's been some sprinkling, which it has really kind of cleared up as this gets fouled away. We have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring, by the way. We're currently scheduled for a 3 o'clock game. It was originally scheduled for 12:30. It got pushed back to 3. Have no idea if that game is going to get played. The weather tomorrow is not supposed to be favorable conditions. We'll see what happens when we get to it tomorrow. As Rodriguez, falling behind 2-1, comes back with a 2-2 pitch. So in a good spot. Can he close this batter out? This one gets lifted, and that wind's going to push it right out towards Bodie Martiak. He'll settle underneath it. That's out number 2. So really a nice bounce back from this Austin High squad here. Rodriguez in particular. Because, it's really easy, and it's not just for, Rodriguez, but for this infield as a whole, but it's really easy. You fall behind 6-0, it's really easy to kind of get down yourself, get defeated. Good attitude and good discipline will prevail, and it does here. This gets lifted out into center field. Martinez does his part, and the Maroons are able to retire the side. Takes it into the bottom second, but it is, and it's really easy to kind of, feel in this, like you have this huge mountain to climb. You fall behind 6-0 right out of the gate, and for the Maroons to then come out, the answer to it then just becomes so important, and they answer really well. Rodriguez especially, but the rest of the fielders around him as well. Couple pop outs. Martiak kind of seemed like missed one earlier. There's some kind of confusion there and some of the missed plays. Alejandro diving for one, missed one, Bramble out there. They all really respond well then, and they're able to get out really quick. 1, 2, 3, no hits given up there in that half of the inning. So after, giving up, pretty sizable chunk there in the top of the first. So that's a good answer, right? You're going to need more of that down the stretch throughout this afternoon slate. We'll see how far this game goes as well. Just in terms of, timing. Because keep in mind, this game, I wasn't sure if we were going to start on time because of how late the first game ran. You get down, it's about a quarter till 3 in any game over 2 hours. Once you hit that 2-hour mark, you can't start another inning. They did start the 7th, and it went on for a little bit, in part because 2 runs scored then by Laredo United, and then Austin High. Bottom of the 7th really was busy. We wrapped up. It was about, almost 3:30 by the time we closed up and, set up shop, and sure enough, got started, gets you going, and all of a sudden you're here in the 4th. 4 o'clock rolls around. Here we are, 4:30. And coming up here on the bottom of the 2nd, where the Maroons will see Jimmy Bramble lead them off here in the bottom of the inning. Pitch on the way here. That will go for ball one. It's a good take by Bramble. Bramble pretty heavily involved in the Maroons coming back from being down 4 earlier this afternoon into helping to tie it up. Can he get one started here? Won't do it on that pitch. Swing and miss. Went chasing after that one outside. 1-1 count. Fields, who leads off for Hutto, got things started for them. Also doubling as the starting pitcher, able to get Bramble to pop this one out to right field for out number 1 here in the half inning. Brings up Martiak. Much quieter performance in that first game compared to what he had yesterday, particularly in that second game against Belton. This one gets popped into foul territory here. One count here for Bodie Martiak. I'll make it 2-1 here. Fields, the wind-up pitch. Gets lifted into foul territory, so evens the count back up at 2-2. Your Martiak just need to choke up here. I think sometimes Bodie kind of gets into some of these spots, and I think he gets, I don't want to say frustrated, but it's kind of it's a kind of frustration. Oh, that one I'd be frustrated with. It's an outside call, but it's a strike. It's a bit generous in my opinion, but just because of placement, and you create a kind of consistency issue when you call something like that far outside. It felt like anyways a strike. It just, you just kind of, I think, open on Pandora's box with it a little bit. Now, that being said, be in that spot, recognize that. It's still early enough. Recognize that, know that, okay, this is what they're calling in terms of this, and this is where they're kind of stretching the zone. We'll know that going in for next time here. You just kind of know that going in. So 1-1 count here for Bradley Rodriguez. Lefty versus righty here. Pitch on the way. Rodriguez pulls this one. And that'll head out towards the J. Sevier sign in right field. 1-2 count here for Rodriguez. Pitch on the way from Fields, and Rodriguez will chop over that one. A swing and strike out number 3. They'll retire the side. So, quick inning there in the second. A 3-up, 3-down. But Hutto stands out in front 6-0 heading into the top of the third here on the Vibe Live Network.
Maroon Baseball is supported by Austin's oldest independently run pharmacy, Terrytown Pharmacy. Founded in 1941, Terrytown Pharmacy has been family-owned and operated since 1950, and the Newberry family is loyal forever. Visit Terrytown for great customer service, incredible gifts, and necessities. If you haven't transferred your prescriptions yet, give them a call. Thank you, Terrytown Pharmacy, for your consistent annual support of Maroon Athletics. Terrytown Pharmacy, online at terrytownpharmacy.com.
Welcome back in. David Roy here in the broadcast booth as we get you set up, get you squared away, and bring you back in. Top of the third. The catcher for Hutto, Meyer, is up to the plate here for the Hippos. They get you started. Lead off this third inning of play. 6-0 lead here, Maroons. Now, Bradley Rodriguez will continue his work from the mound. Obviously, rough start to this one, but bounced back really well in the second inning. Want to see him build off that. And he'll start this one down away. Ball one here. Pitch on the way. This one chopped from Meyer, and a little confusion as to who was covering it. Bradley Rodriguez had to take an angle to try and cut it off and get out in front of it. And limping a little bit. Ames Alejandro came over. Bramble stayed on the bag, so it was a spot, not sure entirely who that responsibility in that spot, who, because conventional wisdom would say, well, pitcher's got to come down off the hill, get that, first base should come over, and then Ames Alejandro, second base should come over, cover the bag, first base pitcher should come down, work together to put that one away, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's how that coached, right? We can sit here, say, talk about, conventional wisdom, this and all day and all that, but, at the end of the day, is what is coached, and as long as it's communicated and as long as somebody makes a play, it doesn't matter who needs to do it or who should do it, it's other than physics and shortest distance between point A and B, straight line and all that fun stuff. But this you have to know, and you have to be in that spot as this gets popped up. Martiak sells underneath, that's one away, holds the runner at first. But, you put all that into the perspective, and it sets that tone and it sets that stage, right, that, a miscommunication essentially is what leads to that. And so the runner really makes it on the air, and that's how, I would grade that one in either case. That kind of one of those plays that should feel routine. Now, Hutto would obviously probably, for their guys try and, score that, grade that base hit, teach their own. This, as it was pointed out, stats are not perfect. Statistics are imperfect, and I get into arguments. I say arguments. I really should say heated debate. Not arguing necessarily, but I get into this one gets lifted out to center field. Martinez able to pull it in. That records the out number 2. So a couple of pop-outs here. Brings up Rivera. But, I get into spirited discussion, right? As this gets fouled away here. I get into some spirited discussion and, various forms of social media, just, around sports in general. And, the one thing that I always come back to, it's a strange situation, right? Because sports and statistics fit really well together, and statistics are really important. You have number crunching, especially in a world now of, advanced analytics, right? The analytics, the advanced analytics in baseball, the advanced analytics in, basketball, and especially right now in football. I mean, even more advanced analytics in football right now. I can't tell you how many times, the algorithm of social media will put in front of me, some chart, that grades, A being, has your x-axis, your y-axis, has all these plot points, data points, etc. But in all that to say, stats have their place, and take nothing away from that as this gets lifted from Rivera out into left field, and that'll be a base hit and puts runners at the corners here from Rivera. I'll bring up Romero here. Stats have their place, and there's nothing that will take away from that. But at the same time, stats don't tell the full story. Baseball, I think, is probably the one place where that's maybe it can tell more of the story in baseball, as opposed to some of the other sports, basketball, football, even soccer, right? Stats don't tell the whole story. You have to watch the tape. And even, plays like that earlier, right? The miscommunication between Rodriguez, Bramble, Alejandro, in that corner that allowed the runner to get on. Lead runner currently standing in at third. Martiak getting on his horse as this ends up in foul territory. Stats are going to tell you it's going to go down, it's going to go on an error. Now, advanced stats may tell you who they put the error on, but either way it's going to fall as an error. And they may put it on the pitcher, again, because conventional wisdom. But tape will tell you exactly who's responsible, and it fills in the gaps that stats just can't. And, I always come back and I say, stats are important. Stats tell a story. As this pitch bounced, Contreras' throw, the arm angle from it came in kind of low, and it skips in front of Alejandro. That allows the runner to not only be safe in the steal over to second, but it also allows a run to score here in the top of the third. But, case in point, be willing to study tape and watch film and to, just watch and kind of grab that understanding as this popped out for out number 3 to retire the side. Is the Maroons down by 7 going into the bottom of the third. Let's see what answers this batting order can give the Maroons. But first and foremost, they need some base runners, and they need them badly here on the Vibe Live Network.
At Horizon Bank, we're from here. With over 100 years of experience serving Central Texas customers and headquartered right here in downtown Austin, we're proud to support our community and the athletes who keep it strong. Stop by any of our Austin and Central Texas locations and see how we can help you meet your goals. We'd love to meet you. Or you can visit us on the web at horizonbank.com.
Hi, I'm Jenny Covert. Welcome to Covert Chevrolet in beautiful Bastrop, Texas, where small town values drive big time savings. At Covert Bastrop, we understand what matters to you most. A good deal, great service, and dealing with people you trust. What matters to you matters to us. Rooted in family values since 1909, the Coverts have been serving Central Texas for 6 generations. We want to be your car dealer. Let us prove it. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop. Together, let's drive. CovertBastrop.com.
Welcome back in here on the Vibe Live Network. Just finishing the conversation from that last half inning, and really it's just stats are important. They have their place, but you also need the film to go with it to see and provide context for the stats. And my biggest problem I think with that lead to the spirited debates and the conversations is box score watching. It is Contreras with a nice base hit right up the gap, and that's how the Maroons get a base runner. They'll need a few more. Ames Alejandro will come up to the plate now. But just, be willing to, even if it's just clips and, highlights, but, you got to be willing to put the stats into context and contextualize your statistics. Stats alone don't tell the whole story at any level of the sport. Have to know, have to see, and it puts the stats into their appropriate context. There's my soapbox. We'll get off of it. Bottom of the third, Maroons have a base runner as this pitch from Fields down away, ball 1 here for Ames Alejandro. You're into the bottom third of the lineup here for the Maroons. Contreras got you started. Alejandro up right now. Zach Huff on deck here for the Maroons. And Alejandro cuts over the top of this one. Strike one for him. 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss there, but Contreras able to swipe second, and that'll put a runner in scoring position. So good decision making, Landon Shipper coming in courtesy running for Osby Contreras. But, good base running, aggressive, good decision making, right? All these things we talk about being fundamentals that you need to have on the base paths, and that situational awareness. As this one gets fouled off here by Alejandro, he'll stay alive here with the 1-2. Pitch on the way. This one, Alejandro able to pull it into the gap between short and third. Shipper will come in, and Coach A gives him the sign. He'll put on the brakes as Ames Alejandro able to snag a base hit of his own. And that'll bring up Zach Huff here for the Maroons. Bottom of the order, and then we'll turn it back over. Martinez on deck here for Austin High. $7-0 lead for Hutto. Maroons have a pair of base runners, 0-1 in scoring position, 90 feet away. This pitch down away here from Huff. And Huff will lift this one. That's a base hit. And I'll score one. A throw over to third in time. So that puts 2 on for the Maroons, nobody out. And brings us back to the top of the order. Jason Martinez comes up to the plate here. So the Maroons dealt a little adversity so far, responding well. Bradley Rodriguez on the mound, been pretty effective here for the most part since that struggle at the start of the first inning, as Martinez will get called with a strike. Showed bunt, pulls it back. Give him that strike call. So 0-1 count here. Charlie Dice on deck. Nobody out. 2 on. 1 in scoring position. Base hit. Would give the Maroons 2 runs scored. Pull this in within 5 of Hutto. Fields turns, comes back, fires. The righty doing a full 180 to get back there. Pitch on the way, and Martinez shows bunt, gets ball. There should be a 1-1 call here. Board's got on 2-0. I'll disagree with scoreboard operators. We've been not on the same page today. We'll put it that way. Pitch on the way here. Martinez lays a bunt. That'll stay fair. And the throw to third. Well, they'll say he's out. Coach A vehemently disagreeing. And Coach A calling time to go out there and discuss that. There was no way. There is no way. Alejandro had slid in. I would say he was safe. Oh, there's the finger. Maroon fans unhappy with the call, so it will record an out. And it still leaves 2 on. But it should be bases loaded with nobody out. Instead, 2 on, runners at first and second, and 1 out. Charlie Dice standing in here. Big spot for him. Pitch on the way. Dice pulls this back over to second. The throw. And kind of a makeup call there. I try not to make that kind of terminology, but it's a little bit of what it feels like. Bases loaded now, though, either way. It brings up Patrick Bird. And he'll step in here. Base loaded. Now, instead of it being 7-1, could be 7-2, nobody out. 7-1, 1 out. Bases loaded, though, for Bird. Bird has to back off the bat. Bird, if he takes that on the hip, I mean, that's a run scored. Now, granted, much rather tournament play. I get it. Don't put yourself in harm's way. And don't be quite so willing to take it. But take it when when the games, I would say, matter more, right? It's not that these games don't, because they do, but not in terms of the record that you get out of them. They matter more in terms of experience, giving guys opportunity to play in different positions, getting guys repetitions. Otherwise, guys that you're going to need, right? You're kind of building your depth a little bit here and giving your depth some playing time and some experience that you're going to need them down the stretch. You're going to need your bullpen down the stretch. You're going to need your, guy who starts in center field but can play first to get some of those reps at first so that when they go in, should they and when they have to go in the middle of a district game because, so-and-so gets hurt, gets banged up, they can slot in and not feel like they're totally in the deep end because of it. And so really that's what this tournament play, all these tournament plays are for. I think by this point, the infield is pretty much set in stone for Coach A. I think the lineup is pretty well set, as well as this one chopped to third. And that's 1 away, puts 2 down, but it keeps the bases loaded here for Austin High and brings up Jimmy Bramble. So, I think your lineup's pretty well set in stone. I think your starting pitchers are most likely set in stone. And, you're giving some of your rotational, your bullpen kind of guys, your relievers, some work as starters. Because it's twofold, right? Some of them are not seniors, they're upperclassmen, but you're kind of working them towards being ready to start next year, right? And it's an important step in their development. They get these opportunities here. And tournament play can review, and it helps to prepare them through that mindset. The other part of it is, too, they're getting that work. You don't want them going into district play not having thrown X number of pitches, whatever that number is from Coach A, from what he's seen. You don't want them feeling, totally rusty and cold going into district play. So you want them to have some semblance of warmth, something that they know what they like, they know what they don't, things like that going into tournament play, or into district play, rather, which does start next week, by the way. Del Valley first up on the docket. As this throw back, safe. Bird, he dove for it, and he's used to sliding across dirt. And because it's turf, kind of had to stretch out just a little bit further with those fingertips to get there. And now having a discussion, and these umpires are getting it from both sides today. Two-one count. Call will stand. So Bird safe at first. 2-1 the count remains here for Jimmy Bramble. And what an opportunity for Bramble. Two-one count, two-way pitch in there for strike two. This pitch fouled away by Bramble, staying alive at the plate. And this one swung on. Strike three, retires the side. Maroons had the base loaded. They leave them that way, and the Maroons get a run out of the inning, but they still trail by 6, heading in to the top of the fourth. 7-1 our score here from Cedar Park on the Vibe Live Network.
Nance Orthodontics is committed to providing the highest quality orthodontics for the Austin community. Dr. Nance is a board-certified orthodontist and offers Invisalign and braces to create beautiful smiles. Our friendly team is passionate about creating beautiful, life-changing smiles for all ages with the latest technological advances. Patient comfort and happiness are our highest priority. Give us a call for your complimentary consultation today.
Top of the fourth as we come back in. Top of the order, Fields. Rounding second. Sliding into third. He lost his helmet. Packing between first and second. Zayas Ronaldo, again, based on the handwriting that I was presented with, it's what I'm going with, is what his name is. It's the tricky part about it sometimes, trying to read the handwriting sometimes, especially when, you have the 2 slips of paper and you only write on the one and what have you. are at first. Run did score thanks to Zayas Ronaldo, and his RBI pushes Hutto up to an 8-1 lead. Pitch on the way. Fouled off. So Esparza down here, 1-1 on the count. Rodriguez still working off the mound here. Throw back over to first. Keeps Zayas Ronaldo honest. And a throw back here. Pitch comes, ball 2. Contreras just can't pop up in time as Zayas Ronaldo is able to scamper on down the line over to second. Two 2-1 count. Three 3-1 now the count. Rodriguez. Working on the mound. Pitch on the way, swung on, miss. Strike 2. Oh, he's got this count as 3-2. Or 2-2, excuse me. See, sometimes when you're trying to, update one thing, you miss another thing. Either way, 2-2 the count. This one popped, gets through. That'll be a base hit. One will score. Here comes run number 2 on the inning. 9-1 the lead. And still nobody out here in this top of the 4th. Throw back over to first. This pitch taken way back there to the wall. And it bounces off the wall, stays in play. Marniak lost it. It bounces in front of Ames Alejandro, the cutoff man. And another run will score. Time taken here. Contreras is going to go out and talk to Rodriguez. (10-1) the score. Medina with a massive double. And you let Rodriguez just kind of keep plowing through here. Well, next week, if the Maroons will start district play, it will all start on Tuesday, March the 10th at Del Valley. 7 o'clock start there. as Meyer gets walked down the line to first, and Coach A will come out now and talk with Bradley Rodriguez. So your district schedule coming up here. March the 10th, you're at Del Valley, 7 o'clock start. Friday, March the 13th, back at home, hosting Del Valley. So it's kind of that time of year. That's a 5 o'clock start at Berger. Then you have a Monday-Tuesday split. Dripping Springs, 7:30, Monday the 16th. That one's at Berger. Then on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, you're out at Dripping Springs. Week later, Tuesday, at Westlake, 7 o'clock start there. Friday, hosting Westlake, back at Berger for 7:30 start. Then on Tuesday, March 31st, 5 o'clock, host Aikens against, out at Berger. Then you turn around on April the 3rd. You're the away team playing Aikens out at Berger. It's on a Friday there. Then you have the bye week. Then the week after, on a Friday, 7:30, you're out at you'll host San Marcos. 7:30 start, back at Berger Field. And then the rest of the way, it's either 7:30 or 7 o'clock start. 7:30 starts for Bowie games, Tuesday, Friday, 14th and 17th of April. And then you'll round out the season with your 2-game series against Lake Travis. Host Lake Travis, 7:30 start at Berger Field. And then on Friday, April the 24th, they'll be out at Lake Travis for a 7 o'clock start. So the district schedule. For the Maroons. Upcoming here. Obviously, of course, still in theory have a game tomorrow. Now, how likely that game is to be played, couldn't say one way or another. 2-1 count here. Tomorrow, much stronger weather. I know it doesn't seem possible, right? Still wind blowing in, very windy. It's been that way today. But you've got sunny skies here. The sun has broken through. Been cloudy most of the day. That cloud cover is finally broken here over Cedar Park. Rodriguez pitch, high and outside, ball 3. 3-2 count here for the Maroons. And this pitch swung on, missed by Bierke. And so Bradley Rodriguez strikes him out. That's one away. Brings up Salas. So Salas will come to the plate here for the Hutto Hippos with a 10-1 lead here. Rodriguez comes back. Strike one, so 1-1 count here against Salas. Still 2 on the bags, only 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. As this one, the 1-1 pitch fouled away, 1-2 the count. Got fouled off into the dugout. One-two pitch, outside corner, just missed the zone here from Rodriguez. 2-2 the count. if there's a game to be played tomorrow. Not sure who left on this Maroon bullpen you'd likely call upon, as Contreras' throw skips its way over to Huff, and the double steal is pulled off. So 3-2 count, and 2 in scoring position now for Hutto. This pitch down the line. Throw all the way across to Jimmy Bramble. And that's 2 out in Bramble. Quick throw to Huff. Huff made a really good effort, so did Bramble, to hold the 2 runners in their place. Really good job from the infield. Jimmy Bramble, Zach Huff. And Huff went chasing back towards second, then had the wherewithal, got about halfway, whipped back around to hold the runner trying to come down from third down to the plate. And Bradley Rodriguez's afternoon comes to a close here for the Maroons. Tony Dominguez will take his place on the mound here for Austin High. I imagine Dominguez might get a chance to start tomorrow. Could see another one of these guys. I mean, they still have a few here on the roster. Henry Shooter could very well end up starting on the mound here tomorrow. Javi Cruz did get a little bit of work in, yesterday. Could see him potentially starting. Dominguez could come back out. Chapa, Biscaglio, guys that, haven't seen who could potentially go out there. Rodriguez will not participate, most likely. Neither will Hayden Carter, Bodie Martiak, or Jason Martinez. So there's still some room. You still have a few guys on this roster here. Bryce English could be out there for it. We'll see. There's a few guys. I mean, that, we were regulars last season. We haven't seen much of anything today. Haven't seen Henry Shooter at all in any capacity today. Saw him a bit yesterday. Haven't seen Dane Calvert today. We saw him yesterday. And Austin Biscaglio we saw and haven't seen him today. So there's guys that you're going to kind of see just get kind of rotated through, come in, get some work, and continue to do so. Dominguez will come in to close this out here for the Maroons. I imagine he will be the last of your pitchers to get work. Now, again, we saw him a little bit yesterday in Game 1. Didn't play at all in Game 2. That also means, too, by the way, with Dominguez coming in, he will take Bradley Rodriguez's place in the batting order. So Dominguez will bat 6th in the lineup. So Dominguez taking over here with 2 outs. That's what he walks into. Does have 2 in scoring position, but he has the 2 out in his pocket that he walks into. Can't fully close the book yet on Bradley Rodriguez. He is still responsible for the 2 who are on. But Dominguez will try to be a good teammate and help him out, and that won't do it. He'll hit Rivera with a pitch. So Rivera will get to take his place on the bags. That'll bring up Romero, and then the lineup will turn over for the Hutto Hippos. So base is now loaded here for Dominguez to try and work his way out of. Romero. Pitch on the way. That's a little bit high from Dominguez. Can't get quite dropped down in the zone. Still trying to get his command, find his rhythm here this afternoon. 1-0 count, pitch on the way. This gets fouled off. Worked inside and forced Romero to just kind of pull in, and so doesn't get it with the meat of the bat, just pulls in, catch it a little bit more in on the hands, and fouls it off for strike one. 1-1 count, 2 away. That's a good job by Dominguez there, comes inside. And nice breaking ball. It just doesn't sit down where he wants it to, stays up high. 2-1 now the count here. And Dominguez. It's a really pretty strike. Gets Romero to commit, can't get over. Two count. Dominguez has this one, gets chopped back. Huff lost it. Bounced off his glove, and Zach Huff can't believe it. So the run will score, and it will keep the bases loaded. And that run scored will unfortunately count against. Bradley Rodriguez. So Dominguez comes back following the run given up. Couple of errors committed by this Maroon team. 1-1 count here, though. With 2 away. This pitch drops in. It does not. It stays high. 2-1 on the count here. 2 away. 11-1 lead right now. Hutto out in front. Bases still loaded. And this pitch popped up. Huff sells underneath. And that's how this 4th inning will turn over to the bottom of the 4th. Maroons give up 4, 11-1 the lead here for Hutto, with the Maroons searching for base runners to give them some answers back for the Hippos when we come back here on the Viper Live Network.
Almost every day, banking touches some aspect of your life, from growing your business, saving for retirement, or planning for future generations of your family. That's why it's so important to pick the right financial partner. The good folks at Plains Capital Bank have deep roots in Austin, serving Central Texas owned and operated businesses for over 20 years, from commercial real estate to managing your wealth. You can find them at plainscapital.com or call them at 457-7500. And when you talk to them, be sure to tell you that my friend Paul said hello, member FDIC.
Maroon Baseball is supported by Austin's oldest independently run pharmacy, Terrytown Pharmacy. Founded in 1941, Terrytown Pharmacy has been family owned and operated since 1950, and the Newberry family is loyal forever. Visit Terrytown for great customer service, incredible gifts, and necessities. If you haven't transferred your prescriptions yet, give them a call. Thank you, Terrytown Pharmacy, for your consistent annual support of Maroon Athletics. Terrytown Pharmacy, online at terrytownpharmacy.com.
Welcome back in. David Roy here in the broadcast booth pull up the numbers for you. This is how things have gone, and it has not gone Austin High's way. It has not been pretty. Couple errors by the Maroons have really helped Hutto out. Not that they've needed much to begin with. 11 runs scored on 14 hits. Maroons 1 run scored on 4 hits, but they've got a couple of bad errors that, really have not helped their cause on an afternoon where, they don't need to help Hutto out much. Hutto's doing enough on their own the way this afternoon started. So that's your numbers here where things stand. Coming into the bottom of the 4th inning, Bodie Martiak will get you started here as we open things up. In the bottom of the 4th. Pitch on the way here from Fields. Martiak's hit will sail, get carried, and well into foul territory and out of here. Strike 1 for Bodie Martiak. This one swung on, missed here by Bodie Martiak for strike 2. Sets him down behind. This is the Maroons team looking for answers. Martiak pops this over to first, and that's one away here. That will bring up Dominguez. It'll be his first plate appearance here in the afternoon and on the day. Appeared yesterday, got on with a walk. 1-0 count here for Dominguez. Pitch here down outside. He'll find the outside corner. Fields will for strike 1. 1-1 now the count here for Tony Dominguez. Maroons see Dominguez slice at that one. Can't catch it. 1-2 now the count. Maroons need base runners. Any means necessary. Time really becoming a factor here. Starting to run out. Keep in mind this game started at 4. Cannot start an inning after 2 hours have passed. Not to mention you still technically have 10 after 5 rule. So Contreras will now come up as Dominguez is sat down. And Osby Contreras will take for ball 1. 1-0 count here. And he'll pop this one back towards the football field out here. 1-1 the count. At start out, it was cloudy. The wind was really gusting. The rain was kind of off and on out here at Matt Ariano Park at J. Sevier Field. It has really calmed down a little bit here this evening. The sun has broken through the cloud cover. Clouds have largely dispersed. Let's see them off in the distance around us, but it has turned into a beautiful evening out here at Matt Ariano Park. 2-2 now the count here. Wind up, pitch, outside, swung on, missed from Osby Contreras, and that'll retire the side. So you'll still get a 5th inning of play here. An 11-1 lead. But most likely this 5th inning will be it. 10, run rule is 10 after 5. And you haven't hit that second hour yet, so good chance this comes to an end here. We'll find out when we come back here on the Vipe Live Network.
Huh. Guess I'll call radio.
Hey, come back here. I got this.
I just didn't feel appreciated. I was leaking for days and they never helped.
Here. This will help.
Your toilet shouldn't run. But if it does, call Radiant.
Welcome back in. Top of the 5th inning. We will most likely have a quick sign-off here, just timing-wise, the way things go. We'll have to make way for the Cedar Park crew so they can set up here. Had to kind of reserve and claim our space here for them. But we'll hop off here for you. And you got these big old dill pickles. I've never understood. I appreciate the flavor. I've never been one of those that says, hand me this big, vinegarized, canned or jarred, dill-flavored cucumber to make it into a pickle. And I like cucumber. Like, don't get me wrong. I like pickle or cucumber. I'll eat pickle, if need be. Never been one who says, yeah, just, hand me one. What to each their own. I know somebody, worked with somebody who loved everything related to it. Couldn't get enough of it. Everybody's got their thing. Right now, Hutto Singh has been driving in runs. They've put up 11 of them here on the afternoon. They're hoping to add to it here still as Tony Dominguez goes back to work. From the mound here. Pitch on the way outside. Dominguez, pitch, popped, lifted, dropped. And the umpire's kind of shrugging. I mean, Huff was coming over. By the way, that is actually not Zach Huff. We have a few defensive changes here for the Maroons, folks. I have missed that. So Carter Hayden has come in. He is standing in over at third. Dane Calvert has taken over at shortstop. Charlie Dice still out there in left. Bryce English out there in center field. Mardiak, Bramble, and Contreras remain in their spots as Alejandro has also come off. And Nick takes his place. So again, kind of at that stage of the game, just trying to get everybody up to date, get everybody some work in. Yeah, I almost missed it, but Carter Hayden comes in. So getting him some work kind of off the mound and kind of getting him filling in a little bit here as Dominguez picks up strike 3. That's one away. I'll bring up Christian Becker. So Hutto digging into their bench here as well. Digging through their dugout. So Christian Becker steps up to the plate, takes 1-0. This pitch off the 1-0. Dominguez having a tough time finding the zone. 2-0 count. Two one now. This one ripped out over the outstretched glove. Cannot pull it in, and that will go down as a base hit. Still with one on. Count here. This one ripped into foul territory there. As Nick Nuncio, by the way, out there at second. Had to confirm it. Coach A gives me first names, not last names on his lineup sheet. But Nuncio out there at second base, so filling in. So a lot of changes. Like I said, Carter Hayden comes in at third. Dane Calvert in at short. Nick Nuncio in at second. Bryce English out there in center, and then the only ones that don't change, Contreras, Jimmy Bramble still at first, and Bodie Martiak still out in right field. 2-2 count, one away. Pitch on the way here from Dominguez. This gets fouled into the net. So 2-2 it remains with one on. This will be a walk. Pitch here from Dominguez on the way, fits in for strike one. Two runners on. Only the one out. Dominguez delivers. Got popped up over here. Wasn't quite sure where it landed. Looked like it was going out. Not sure if it hit the net and stayed in. Kind of lost it in the sun myself. Either way, it's an 0-2 count. As this is ripped, Chris Lopez. Throw to second in time. I'll get Littles, but Lopez will remain. So that's 2 away, runners at the corners now. And we'll bring on Beal. 1-0 count for him. Tony Dominguez with runners at the corners. Contreras sets up on the outside corner of the plate. Swung on, missed by Beal. 1-1 count. Dominguez trying to get out of this without giving up another run scored. And good hustle there by Contreras. Scrambles, gets on top of that. The pitch was outside. Good block by Contreras, too. Doesn't let him get past him. Doesn't let him get by. Keeps this moving. 2-1 now the count. Dominguez delivers off the plate there. Well, into the other side batter's box. That left-handed batter's box for ball 3. Contreras had to slide way over there to get to it. So 3-1 count. With 2 away, Dominguez has this one swung on. Chopped over to Calvert. Calvert throw to Bramble. That's in time. Out number 3. It'll retire the side. And will bring us into the bottom of the 5th. So the Maroons will get a chance to try and cut into this before it would come to a close, most likely. Unless they were to score a run and finish the inning somehow prior to 6 o'clock. Only feasible way you can get out of that and into that situation. But you're going to see a lot of changes here. A lot of shifts. Those numbers are pretty hard to read, too. They've got these dark uniforms, but then the orange with them for Hutto. Hard to read, but it looks like we've got a pitching change here. It'll be Adam Romero who will take them out after Fields has been doing most of the work here on the afternoon for the Hippos. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll get you set for the bottom half of the inning to close you out here on the Vipe Live Network. Welcome back in. David Roy here in the broadcast booth. We get you set up here, bottom of the 5th inning. Nick Nuncio will step up here to the plate for his first action of the weekend. And he will foul off this first pitch for strike 1, working against Adam Romero, who takes over for Fields on the mound. Still to come here on the Vibe Live Network, Cedar Park will take on these Hutto Hippos next. Josh and Brad will be on the call, kind of a test run for them, ahead of district play starting next week for the Timberwolves of Cedar Park. Coming up next week here. 2-1 count right now here for Nick Nuncio. Battling out pretty well here against Romero. Let's see how much action any of these players will get tomorrow. Again, just because weather currently slated to start at 3, but keep an eye out. We'll be sure to let you know as well as soon as we find out how things shake out tomorrow afternoon. Currently slated to start at Vista Ridge as ball 4. So Nuncio will get on a bag. I'll turn things over. Hayden Carter will step up to the plate for the first time here today. Saw Carter yesterday against Belton, looked really outstanding on the mound. Excellent in command of his pitches, command of his craft. Had a really good day yesterday. Had a really good day against Stony Point a couple weeks ago. He'll stand in here now, coming into the batter's box. Pitch on the way. This one catch the outside corner for strike 1. Maroons do have Luke Whalen in right now, by the way, as a courtesy runner. After Nuncio got on with the walk. 1-1 the count right now. Pitch on the way. Carter able to slap this over. Does not beat the throw back to first, but it does advance Whalen down the line over to second. So Carter out. Brings up Bryce English here. He'll step to the plate now for his first action of the weekend as well from the batter's box. Takes for strike 1 here against Romero. Does have a runner standing in scoring position. I think they tell Romero probably at this point, take your time with it. Not sure either team necessarily wants a 7th inning, or 6th inning rather, excuse me, and partially because time's sake. I think, Cedar Park guys are kind of like, don't, hurry up. We're going to play. This one gets smacked back. Romero had it initially, then drops it, but he is still able to make the throw over to English. Maroons, I think, would take it for 6th inning, though. Keep this game going. Try and battle your way back. Why not? No harm in that. In either case, Whalen works his way down the line over to third. Charlie Dice will now step up to the plate. Dice, contact early, and will not beat the throw over to first, and that'll do it. Well, Maroons can't get the job done. They'll fall short, 11-1 here in this one, as the Hutto Hippos take care of business here today. Here against the Maroons. So Hutto, big win for them. They'll take the win 11-1 by a wide margin, led by a massive top of the first inning. Went through the lineup. They jumped out to a 6-0 lead. In the third inning, the Maroons and the Hippos exchanged a run, and then Hutto was able to tack on 4 more. So for Austin High, they'll take the field tomorrow, currently slated for a 3 o'clock start. Weather contingent heading into tomorrow. That game will take place out at Vista Ridge. On behalf of our entire broadcast crew, I'm David Royce signing off. Skylar Gillespie, our quality control assistant, our director of broadcasting, Meryl Bertrand. You've been watching the Vipe Live Network, your home for Maroon baseball. We'll see you then.